I want to show the capability of ChatGPT in terms of analyzing reports and using multiple plugins in the ChatGPT 4 framework here. So I'm bringing a report. I'm going to bring in multiple reports over this next couple minutes here from various states and city on traffic stops, right? And we're going to particularly look at demographic data of traffic stops. Just a very, very simple, this isn't getting into any type of policing policy or things like that. This is just simply to show the capabilities of ChatGPT. Obviously, you can dive deeper if we wanted to, but for the sake of this demonstration, not gonna go down that rabbit hole. So first, gonna bring in the one from this one right here. It's gonna give me a kind of a text-based version of the report and what I can do with and kind of the information I want in terms of demographic data of traffic stops. I could divide, give that to me here. And I'm going to do the same thing for, like I said, the three other reports from Duluth, Minnesota. I'm going to do Duluth, Minnesota, Missouri, Pennsylvania, and Virginia to kind of give a cross-section here. They're all from the year 2022 traffic stop data. And as we do this here, you can kind of watch as we go through and do this. You can also do this all at once if you wanted to. It just sometimes it takes a while and can run into errors as it tries to do the multiple reports. Two is really it's pretty good to do. You can do two pretty easily. Once I got into four, it was running into some issues. So for this demonstration and for the sake of for your sake as well, I'm going to kind of simplify it this way. That way it's easier to see. But you can also put into this and say, hey, I want the data from, on demographic data and traffic stops from these reports, and just have it do, list URL 1, 2, and 3. And it works as long as the URL ends with a PDF. With .pdf on the end of the URL, this will work. Another thing I mentioned too is it's going through and pulling this data in, is there's multiple different plugins that do this similar feature. I've recently been playing around with another one called AIPDF, which has been really fun to use. It's really great. This one is called AskYourPDF. There's another one called ChatWithMyPDF. All of them can be interchangeable. I'm not using the AI PDF, even though I like it a lot, just because it kept thinking I was a bot, and so I kept having to, do this different prove you're a human test kind of thing, which does not make for an exciting video. So for that sake, we went back to the old reliable of AskYourPDF plugin here. But the other ones you can use if you run into issues, maybe sometimes with multiple users, systems go down or things happen, right? Just switch to a different plugin. It's pretty easy to do. You can pull this next one down. Another thing I'd mention too when it comes to ChatGPT, something I think people get kind of stuck around the axle on, is on the idea of accuracy, right? And it's, if you're going to publish a report or put something public facing, absolutely make sure it's accurate, right? I think that's a kind of a no-brainer, right? And there's ways to do that, right? Trust but verify. I think of the attorney case where he created a case brief and created through ChatGPT, and all the information was hallucinations, right? There's no all the sample cases that he brought to the judge were all fictitious things that ChatGPT made up, right? And the quick solution to that is just double check the references, right? If ChatGPT is generating a URL for something, go to that URL and make sure that's a real thing. Do your research to make sure it's accurate. But for the sake of ChatGPT, I'm much more interested in capability than I am in accuracy, right? I don't need to be accurate 100% of the time because I have other tools I can use to verify the information, right? I can ask ChatGPT, hey, source your information, and then I can go back and check that source, say in this report, say I want to say, okay, how do I know that there are, X percentage of white individuals on traffic stops in the state of Missouri, right? Where do you see that in the report? And it'll say, okay, on page 4, table 6, whatever. And I can go there and look at it and say, oh, this is, oh, yep, that's accurate, or no, it's actually not accurate. And then I can go back into ChatGPT and say, okay, here's the actual information from this report, and it'll update information and do that, right? So I'm much more interested in capability than I am in accuracy because I have other tools to get accuracy. And I think with time, ChatGPT will be more and more accurate. Because this is, if you think about it, ChatGPT is as inaccurate as it'll ever be. I think with time goes on, we'll see more and more accuracy with ChatGPT as it gets better and better, refines and hones its skill with that. because it's a learning-based model, right? It's still learning, and as users interact with the program and provide feedback and provide like, well, nope, this is actually where it's at. It's learning more and more of how to do that. So let's see here. Bear with me as I type here. It's hard to type and think at the same time. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to ask it to create a bar chart. I'm using a different plugin now, which I want to show, right? You can use multiple plugins at the same time to be able to create something, right? And again, if you wanted to, you could create the prompt that says something effective, pull the data from these 4 sources on traffic data, and then list the URLs, and then say at the end, create a bar chart that shows me traffic data stops by demographic data, right? Traffic stops by demographics by agency/state. Like it works to some degree. It was having some issues before, again, with kept thinking it was a bot, so running into some issues there. It's running some issues here with Diagram. It's going to keep trying to use it. I do like Diagram plugin a lot in terms of being able to create data visualizations. Extremely helpful. There's other ones out there, again, that do the same thing. The one called Show Me. Show Me is more of a like if you're creating like process charts or things like that, or flow charts, Show Me is really good. It can do some stuff with charts, primarily with pie charts. It's probably the best at. Diagram I found has been really helpful for creating line charts or bar charts, vertical or horizontal bar charts. It can do pie charts as well too. But one thing you want to do too is if you're creating a chart with it, tell exactly what chart form you want. Otherwise, it'll just kind of default to whatever it thinks that you might want. So while you may want a pie chart, it'll create a bar chart for you, or vice versa. Another one I'd say too, as we go in regards to using different charts, different things like that, is again, check the accuracy, make sure it's accurate before publishing it. For the sake of this demonstration, I'm not as concerned about accuracy, like I said, as I am about capability. And I think understanding that would be really is key to learning how to use ChatGPT. So there we have it. There's our bar chart. We took all that data from different sources, and now we have a bar chart that shows that. Pretty cool, huh?